So let's look at the range. So what is the range? So in statistics, the range of a set of data is the difference between the largest and smallest values. So mathematically, we calculate the range by subtracting the lowest value in the distribution from the highest value in the distribution. So let's see how we do this. Find the range of the distribution of height of 36 students. So here we are given the height of 36 students in centimeter, and we are asked to find the range. So we know that the range of a set of distribution is equal to what? The highest value minus the lowest value. So we look for the highest height or the highest value of height in this distribution, and we see that it is what? 185 centimeters. So the highest value is 185, while the lowest value, when we check, we see that it is what? 146. So we minus 146 from 185 and we get 39. So the range of the distribution of height is 39 centimeters. Let's take a look at another example. In this example, we are told that 21 students did an experiment to find the melting point of naphthalene. The table summarizes their results. So we see here that one student got 78 degrees Celsius as the melting point of naphthalene, two students got 79, all the way up to one student that got 90 degrees Celsius as the melting point of naphthalene. So we want to find the range. So the way you find the range when you are given information in frequency table is simple. You just look at the largest value over here. And what is the largest value over here? You see that it's a 90 out of all the temperatures that are here. So the range will be equal to the highest temperature you have there is what? Is 90. And the lowest temperature that a student got is what? 78. So when you minus 78 from 90, you get what? 12 degrees Celsius. So the range of the distribution is 12 degrees Celsius. Now let's take a look at another example, and here we are told to find the maximum possible and minimum possible range of this distribution. So if you look carefully, you see that this distribution is given in form of a group's data. So what this means is that for the height of students that fall between 145 to 154, we have 6 students within this height range. 9 students fall within this height range. 15 students fall within this height range. 5 students fall within the height range, and 1 student fall within this height range. So we are told to find two things. Number one, we are asked to find the maximum possible range. So now what is the range? We have discussed before that the range is equal to what? The highest value minus the lowest value. So now how do we find the highest value? Now we told that one student fall within this range 185 to 194. So we know that this is the highest height range that we have. But that one student, what is the maximum possible height that they can have based on this range? So we see that the maximum possible height he can have is if he has a height of what? 194. So the highest value for the maximum possible range will be 194, then minus the lowest value. What would it be? When you come to this first row over here, you see that the height range from 145 to 154. So the 6 students fall within this range. So the lowest possible height that one of these students can have is if they have the minimum value, and the minimum value in this range is what? 145. So we say 194 minus 145, and what does that give us? That gives us 49. So the maximum possible range is 49. Now let's take a look at the second part, where we are told to find the minimum possible range. So now what do we mean by the minimum possible range? So the minimum possible range means what is the lowest value that our range can attain. So, and when is that possible? So now let's come back to the highest value here. For the difference between the highest and the lowest value to be smallest, that is for the range to be small, for the range to be small, or to be the minimum, then the maximum value must be small, while the minimum value must be very large. So now when we come over here, we see that this one student can have a height ranging from 185 to 194. So for him to have the minimum possible range, then he must have the lowest height possible, and that means the student's height or the maximum height is 185. So you have what 185 as his maximum height minus, then for the lowest value you come to this first row and you see the height ranging from 145 to 154. So now we need the minimum height to be at the maximum value so the difference can be minimum. So that means we pick this value over here 154. So when we say 185 minus 154, we get what 31 centimeter. So we see here that the maximum possible range is 49 while the minimum possible range is 31. So one thing that you should note from this example is that when you are trying to calculate the maximum possible range in a group data, what you do is that you take the last value in the distribution, this value over here, and you subtract the first value from it. So you do what? You take this last value over here and you subtract this first value from it. However, if you are trying to find the minimum possible range in the group data, what you do is that you take this first value in the last row and you minus the second value in the first row from it. So for the maximum, we have 194 minus 145, and while for the minimum, we have 185 minus 154. So that pretty much sums up our discussion on finding the range.